Welcome back, everybody. It is time for our second game of the day. It is Dignitas going up against Evil Geniuses, and Dignitas are still chasing a win here, man.
They're chasing. I'm hoping they're close. I'm hoping it's like touching distance.
Touching distance. They're this close.
I don't want it. I don't want it to be.
You're doing what the wins have done to them so far. You're just slowly backing away as they're trying to get that win.
Because they have a lot of household names.
Yeah.
That was one of the things people were hyping so much about Dignitas this time around. Is like, oh my God, they were able to sign Santorin and Jensen and Armut. Like, there's a lot of hype here. So hopefully, this group can actually come together. Of course, they also, like some of the other teams, like FlyQuest, they're trying to work out backup support options. I think Biofrost is a great backup support option, personally. So we'll see what they can do versus Evil Geniuses, because Evil Geniuses have shown us two different geniuses. One of them more evil than the other. Week 1, it was very, very risky geniuses.
Yeah.
They made quite a few errors. Some openings were left up for their opponents. They cleaned it up pretty quickly though in week number 2. So if they come to play today like they did yesterday, then it is going to be another really tough battle for Dig.
And the biggest thing I'm looking at in this matchup in particular, bot lane gap. Because FBI and FBI and Vulcan are a scary duo in the bottom lane, and I think most people have been watching Dignitas' games are going to agree the bot lane has been the weakest point. So if FBI and Vulcan are able to just run the show here and completely dominate the bottom lane 2v2, it's going to be real hard for Dig to even stabilize from that.
Definitely a scary duo to go up against. From 2022, the joining of the Evil Geniuses core and the 100 Thieves, couple of carries and
Evil
FBI.
Thieves. We're taking the villain characters and putting them together.
That's it. That is scary. We got the Evil Thieves. This is my first time watching it in person. Welcome.
Happy to have you.
Sorry about the later start time.
We're past it now. We're into the games. And hey, we got some AD carry bans, my friends. It's Ashe, Caitlyn, Lucian all banned away. Elise remaining on the ban table, getting a lot of respect from almost every draft, as Gnar is banned out by EG. The Armut ban, you do every single time. Makes sense.
Yeah, Wukong down. Or Wukong still could be an option for him. Also loves that champion.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it banned.
Those were kind of the duo.
Last one.
But yeah, a lot of focus on the ADs, I guess, with the Caitlyn Ashe this time. That does mean the Varus is left up. Interesting kind of difference here, first game to this game. Meanwhile, in the jungle pool this time around, it's just the Maokai and Elise, just the AP threats. And still leaving open a lot of all the AD options. The Wukong that we were talking about, the Vi, of course. Once again, if we see Lulu, that already makes me think Zeri.
Yeah.
Okay, Lulu lock-in early can be paired with a lot of things. It's more versatile, so that's why they go for this one first. There's that Varus we mentioned. Looks like, we'll probably get a Varus versus Lulu Zeri lane down bottom. And then the question is, what junglers? So Sejuani always makes me think EG already want to pair it with some melee solo laners. I just love those pairings. It turns Sejuani into just this kind of boring frontline tank jungle champ that you have to play into exciting. I can go for some early ganks, some solo lanes that can stack up my stun really quickly. So hopefully EG have some spicy picks for Jojo and Ssumday to pair with that Sedge.
Well, we got the Zeri that everybody was pretty much expecting as soon as we saw the Lulu locked in, so that will be the bottom lane. You can see across the LCS that is an 80% win rate right now. They're also getting Ssumday there in the top lane.
If Evil Geniuses went with an Aurelia mid for Jojo to pair with the Sejuani, that would be spicy. That would be hype. Could remain as a flex pick right now, too, if they lock it in on number 3 here. We saw the Fiora in the last game into the Ssumday. Could be that. Jax, the outscale kind of option. And it looks like we will get that Fiora. There we go. Fits the bucket of skill matchup there into the Ssumday. Also, really, really threatening with the Sejuani. It makes me think here for Dignitas side, what can Santorin even pick to go into that 2v2 top jungle? Already looking a little bit scary here, and we'll see if they whittle down on that champion pool a bit more now.
I expect to see Evil Geniuses look at the jungle pool a lot just because we've already got some jungle bans here in the first half. They can pinch it further here in the second half. They're going to go for Orianna instead, get rid of one of those champions that Jensen has a lot of reps on.
And Orianna got some really nice buffs on this B patch, this little hot fix shoved in there patch. So banning away his favorite champion of all time. Silas and the response here from Jensen. Sven was pretty adamant that Jensen, not the premier Silas player, so they're banning it away instead. Always an extra little bit of joking, bit of jabs between those two.
EG's got one more ban to go. What's it going to be, boys? We want to target Jensen a little bit more? Nope. Going to look back towards the jungle like I was expecting earlier. Getting rid of the Vi. Very powerful pick. Top tier in the jungle right now. Keeping Santorin away from that one. So one of the choices that could have been slotted into that 2v2 for the top jungle like you were talking about won't be available anymore.
Okay, so the Wukong, the Graves, the Udyr are the ones kind of still floating around. Meanwhile, continued focus on that mid lane, maybe here from Dig. What are they looking at? What are they worried about Jojo? The ever common 5th ban of Kassadin.
Yep.
Nobody wants to get put on that timer. Nobody wants to play against that level 16 scaling Seraph's Rod of Aegis, even with the slight nerf to the E. Jojo Azir, Flowers, has led to some funny moments, has led to some epic moments.
Yeah.
I think either way, we're in store for some fun.
Jojo is always an interesting player to watch, whether he's popping off or goofing around. It's always a good time. But we do have the Azir locked in. Some more powerful scaling here for the side of Evil Geniuses. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I hate to say this, but with Azir locked in on one side, I expect to see Viktor locked in on the other.
Some lasers for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will concur, especially because it's Jensen. You know, the only other one there, because he doesn't play much Yone anymore, would be, maybe they could really spice it up with the Akali. But they would rather go for the team fight here, go for that farm lane with the Azir. Viktor lasers, always nice in it. The problem with this one, though, and the constant answer, is that the Azir's side of it is so much more exciting. Viktor's like, yeah, I also want to farm. I also want to scale into being a really cool team fighter. My wave clear is insane. But Azir always has that extra play to go for with the flash, with the ultimate. If you can go with your jungler,
he has threat.
Burn the Viktor flash, then Viktor just walks around, hobbles around even with his cane, can't even walk that fast, and is always under threat of the Azir shuffle plays. So there's always just a little bit more threat, like you're saying, a little bit more danger to that side.
Well, we got some Rakan locked in for Vulcan. I love seeing players like Vulcan on champions like this. He's a huge playmaker. He's an awesome team fighter. And if you can find the right angles on him, man, he can just win you the whole game.
Very exciting here. Definitely can have some big runs towards mid, too. You mentioned Rakan. If Rakan gets out of lane, and especially Varus is quite good at doing that for you, then giving Vulcan some time to roam, couple roam windows towards mid, boom, burn a Viktor's flash, then guess what? Inspired goes mid, and they look for some kills, and they start Jojo off on the right foot. Could be the game plan here. Of course, Inspired could easily go towards the top side. See if Armut's able to handle the Cassante as well as impacted.
Exactly, and we got to see what Santorin can get done on this Wukong as well, because it's going to be up to him to get things rolling here in the early game. Make sure that Dignitas can get off to a strong foundation and have themselves a better shot at winning this game than they have in the few previous ones that we've got to see him in. There we go. Fancy camera angle right into the game.
I love this new screen at the stage, by the way. This big one right in front. Stage looking spiffy in 2023. Nice changes. Let's see about these changes for Dig, because they also look so spiffy in the offseason. So shiny. Ooh, big screen here. Big Jensen in the mid lane.
But then once the season starts.
Yeah, once the season starts.
Okay.
A little bit slow to start here for Dig. See if they can actually come together. Their coordination, I think, has been one of the big things. But, as the Des mentioned, the elephant in the room is the bottom lane for Dignitas. So we will have a magnifying glass on that bottom lane. See if it does catch fire very quickly.
And with Rakan and Varus, I mean, especially once they hit level 6, you bring your jungler down there, you can just decide, okay, we're going to kill you. Rakan goes in with his ulti, you follow it up with a Chains of Corruption. It's a problem.
Decided. we will kill you.
And that's about what's gonna happen, man. Wild growth or not, there's so much CC, there's so much power there. So yeah, keep your eyes on that. We'll have to see how Dignitas can handle the bot lane pressure. We'll have to see if they can manage to scale up and get themselves in a good enough spot here as Jensen just immediately forced to flash at level 1. I love this from EG.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that if you've played solo queue anytime in the last year, people are always worried about like support Twitches doing that to them.
Yeah.
These Hail of Blades supports, you know, coming through, really annoying, will roam mid. But this is actually a nice little iteration where they've got Hail of Blades on the Varus, of course, as is customary for lane, and they just bring the whole bottom lane towards mid. A little bit of a harassment there. Try and get Jensen a little bit more scared really early. As we talked about, hey, if Rakan ever gets this roam window towards mid, guess what, Flowers? He could burn the flash, and then the Viktor's scared forever. Well, they don't actually need a roam window if they just start in mid.
Yeah, just start him off scared and keep him under his turret for the entire laning phase. Worth putting out too, Ssumday at the start tried to do what we saw Fudge do to contracts yesterday with the Fiora versus Wukong invade at level 1, but Armut was wise to the fact that that might be going on, so he stopped that from setting Santorin completely behind and essentially just making it unplayable for the Wukong. So nice heads up there from Dig, recognizing that could happen, being able to outplay that and navigate around it well. Santorin still just clearing through his entire jungle as Inspired is crossing river.
Yeah. I love the shout out, by the way. Definitely, junglers' eyes are always turned towards that. Armut, the sage of the top lane. I will defend, don't worry. Not gonna let you get taken advantage of early. Santorin, though, comes to find. It's been had. Inspired has already struck.
Well, Inspired tried to steal away that big chicken, but Santorin did have the mastery of bursting it down to make sure that the Sejuani wasn't able to pick that one up away from him. As you can see, the mid lane is going to look a lot like this for a good long while after that level 1. Jensen stuck underneath the turret, throws out the gravity well. That's going to keep Jojo locked down here. Jensen at about 200 HP, but the shield, the backup from Biofrost, means that he's not too much concerned there. But neither is Jojo. He knows he can just walk it off. What kind of CC are Viktor and Lulu going to lock you down with after the gravity well is already taken care of?
Have liked the aggressive looks from the Lulus towards mid, though. Always trying to make some polymorph plays. Biofrost trying to even up the support pressure towards mid. No flash blown, though. And should be some teleports right back to that mid lane. Pick up the CS, no problem.
There it is. No worries. Has Doran's Ring, Control Ward, Corrupting Potion. Nice, tidy little early game inventory there for Viktor. I would expect Jojo to be able to get a little bit more than that. Yeah, you can see Dark Seal plus Mana Crystal there, so he'll be able to return to lane with a little bit of extra healing with the single potion.
Sad B, Jensen. Still feeling the pain from the level 1. Abusing him.
Man, those level 1s can really feel bad. You feel the impact of those for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's the impact is seen on the scoreboard here with the CS lead remaining. Flash cooldown still glaring, staring at you in the face there. And Sejuani is a fairly potent early ganker, more potent than even than the Wukong, with all of the CC that the Sej will bring.
Vulcan's just keeping these guys zoned away as FBI farms up the minions here in the bottom lane. The control over the top side also going over to Evil Geniuses against both of their solo lanes that are having priority here, getting these waves shoved up, forcing their opponents to be stuck underneath the turret. And when your solo lanes have priority, it means your jungler is also more free to move where he wants, when he wants. So Inspired also out-farming his opponent, having a bit higher tempo there. He's going to go ahead and reset, as Santorin had to already do that. Armut trying to get that Q3 knockback underneath the turret on Ssumday, but a nice riposte stops the CC.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit for jungle perspective right now, because when you know this pain. When you're playing a jungler and all 3 of your lanes are pushed in, you really have very few options with how to play the game. It's all about just trying to scrounge together your own camps and get some defensive vision up. So since the level 1 towards mid lane got really strong early pushing for Jojo, they've got the Fiora early pick into Ssumday towards top side, and bottom lane as well, has really meant
Jojo,
got him.
There it is. That's all you needed to do. I would think it's first blood over to Inspired, and Jojo set it up. They knew the flash was still down.
Yeah, really, really good advantage here from EG. They're able to get it down before the flash comes back up. They saw Santorin clearing that ward on the top side as we're kind of going over how few options he has.
Yeah.
He sweepers out the vision on the top side. Jojo's like, okay, he's right here. Let's go for Jensen. Jensen will have the extra confidence. He knows Wukong is pretty close. easy sweep for me. Jojo doesn't even flash. He got him with just the range of the back of those soldiers as he goes in for the sweep. So Jojo retains his Azir flash while killing Jensen. Now he can just go in, force the flash again, and repeat this play. It's the constant fear that we talked about in Champ Select, and why I think we both pretty heavily prefer the Azir side.
Yeah, the Azir just always feels like he's the one who gets to decide what's going on, as Evil Geniuses still have control everywhere. Man, the bottom lane, it's FBI and Vulcan winning this one. Santorin's gonna move up. You'll see him step over those wards, has the sweeper active to clear him out. Inspire's ready to shadow these guys. EG willing to take the 3v3. Santorin probably just gonna go ahead and go back as Inspired starts up the Drake for the Geniuses.
Yep. Not a lot for him to work with. Meanwhile, EG is a pretty decently early dragon too, so
7 minutes.
going nicely according to plan for them.
So, okay, going according to plan for Evil Geniuses, what is the plan for Dignitas? Like, you're down 1,000 gold, you're down a kill, you're down a Drake now. What do we need to see from you guys?
So I think the first time we're going to see a big play from them is on level 6 of Santorin.
Okay.
He's still got his flash on Wukong. There's been no crazy, jungle shenanigans. Hasn't burned that. As soon as you get your level 6 on Wukong, he definitely can go for a play to try and get a kill back for somebody. The top lane is double ghost top lane, but Ssumday actually has really good setup. Even if a Ssumday is getting pushed in, especially close to your tower, Armut can always go, because Ssumday has so much mobility, you can try and set it up. You can get the riposte out pretty early. Maybe there's a play to be had there. Otherwise, of course, everybody does, have all their summoners available, so it's going to have to be a layering of their setup.
Vulcan hanging out in mid. Not level 6 yet, so no quickness to unleash there in a mid lane play, but there it is. Top side, Santorin's ready to go. Ssumday walking away. The riposte is going to block the first knock up there on the Wukong ulti, and Ssumday just casually walks away from it.
Well, Flowers, I think, great, I get the points for that. That was the play.
You called it.
I didn't say it would work.
Well, okay, technically, yes, you are correct. You told the truth, just not all of it. So
it is tried on top lane. The level 6 is used, but it did not work. The key part that I was talking about was getting the riposte out.
Yeah.
If you riposte the first knock-up, then the second knock-up's not going to work. So they try, they swing, they whiff, and it does result in extra lead here for EG, because of course, after the Wukong ult is down, you still have all these pushing lanes. You're definitely going to be able to force on the Rift Herald. So happily picked up Rift Herald there on the side of the Evil Geniuses.
And EG doesn't have plates yet, right? Like, there's no plates taken in top or bottom. I can't tell if mid lane has actually been played or
that one I think is gone.
Okay, yeah, that one's gone. I just saw the 4 behind the Viktor icon on the minimap. So they have 1 plate so far. So wherever Inspired decides to drop this will be a nice little injection of extra gold. He's going to move into the enemy jungle now. Again, knowing that Santorin has no ulti, he's just going to throw it out, go for the kill on the enemy jungler 1v1. Chad Sejuani takes your buff in front of you, and you're going to like it.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to like it, but he's going to take it in front of you, and he's going to tell you to like it. Biofrost's going to watch from the brushes as their jungle is being taken over.
It's a sad state of affairs for Dignitas right now. 10 minutes into the game. Nothing really going their way so far in this early game. Ssumday's out farming here on the top side. He's a couple waves ahead. In mid lane, you got about 3 waves ahead for Jojo. Bottom lane is a very slight advantage for FBI. There's not really anything I'm looking at in this game so far saying, hey, you know what? That's going Dig's way right now.
All right, well, maybe we can find something for you soon. How about...
We got Wukong again.
How about ward kills in the last 5 seconds? Because I just saw one.
That is quite a fantastic stat to measure the game.
That really getting high.
Yeah,
right?
that's
if I know anything about you.
When I tune into League of Legends, ward kills every 5 seconds is my #1 thing for watching.
You like cleaning your own jungle from the debris of enemy wards.
Get rid of that garbage. All right,
community service really is what we're about.
Yeah, exactly. Cleaning up the environment and looking out for everybody. But we got is looking out. No. They're literally in the enemy jungle now. They're literally in the enemy.
Yeah, they just replaced that ward that was killed. Our triumphant ward that was killed, instantly replaced by Evil Geniuses.
That's the evil part.
Dig have a lot of work to do. Yeah, that's very evil. Haha, your 1 victory in this game so far.
Well,
taken away immediately.
We've also got a Rakan with ulti now, and a flash. And we've got Varus with an ulti and a flash, and Azir with an ulti and a flash, and Sejuani with an ulti and a flash.
2 turret plates.
And 2 turret plates. That's 2 more than they had before. As Jensen's gonna just, you know, bop Jojo a little bit, but it doesn't matter a whole lot. Because again, Viktor doesn't really have a lot of ability to say this is what's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen right now. Evil Geniuses, they're gonna make sure they control the top side river as Jojo goes in again. He's got Vulcan ready for the backup. Jensen's just stuck there. Inspired tried to predict Jensen's flash. Jensen waited a little bit longer, flashes afterwards, but still can't get away. The Viktor is dead again. The Viktor is flashless again. The Herald is summoned up in mid lane. Man, Evil Geniuses, it just keeps going from good to better, and for Dig, it's bad to worse. Santorin jumps in for some CC on Inspired underneath the turret, wanting to burn him down, forces the flash out of the EG jungler as Spawn jumps over the wall, trying to save the tier 1 turret. Gonna keep it alive for now, but the thing is barely hanging on.
All right, yeah, they do keep it standing for now. It's turned into a massive gold lead very quickly here. Dignitas really trying to even just scrounge together any sort of CS at their towers to have any sort of items to fight back with. It's just so early in the game for a 3,000 gold lead and a dragon already in the hands of the Evil Geniuses. It's just, it does not get easier to fight your way out of this. So when you're faced with that difficult of a situation, you got to take riskier and riskier plays. Problem is they also just use the Jensen teleport, so no flash or teleport on this Viktor. That Viktor is basically stationary. You just got to keep lasering minions and give any enemy champion a wide berth, 80-yard range. Don't go close to anybody. Kill the minions and get out of there.
Give them the whole football field at this point. Okay.
Meanwhile, everybody else on the team is like, hey, we got to group up on the bullies and try and take one down.
Well, the bullies right now are bullying the second dragon of the game. They'll secure that one with no contest from Dig. It's 30 seconds before the turret plates fall, and Evil Geniuses still has that 3,000 gold lead. 2 Drake advantage to none. It's an Infernal Rift as well, which means if they get a fast soul, continue snowballing this lead, it's going to be impossible for Dignitas to be able to survive against these guys.
Yeah, burn it to the ground, take away the trees, take away some of the rocks.
What happened to your don't litter, save the environment stuff? Now you're
it's Infernal Rift. That's what happens.
Whoa. All right, we're not going to get all along.
Where's Smokey the Bear when you need him?
Is Smokey the Bear still around?
No, definitely not. All right, well, meanwhile, bottom lane's been pretty chill. They're just farming away down there.
Yeah, I mean,
no issues. Spawn's like, hey, it's okay. We're scaling for late. You try and keep your team morale up, telling everybody it's going to be fine.
Until you look at the total gold graph and you just see all Evil Geniuses players at the top. Jojo's out there.
But look at Vulcan.
1,000 gold ahead.
Down. Aha.
Ah, that noob. No money on support. Well, I guess you can't win them all. But Vulcan, I'm still waiting to see the quickness plus the flash, the Rakan being able to find those massive moments here in team fights. But honestly, dude, I don't think Dignitas is going to let him go for a team fight anytime soon because they just don't want to fight anything right now.
Yeah. Just been constantly looking for scoops towards Jensen since level 1. Attacking Jensen.
They know what they wanted.
They sure did, and they got it. So FBI able to rotate towards mid here. You see Jojo down bottom. Having the Azir side lane split push, FBI and Vulcan kind of swapping over duty here. Vulcan's got a control ward too, so maybe you'll get your moment soon, Flowers. Well, mid lane Rakan here.
Okay.
With his ult and his flash available. Ignite ready too.
But all this focus on Jensen, this is literally what I was thinking about when after day number 1, and I was like, man, Dig looked like they kind of just fell apart. But when you look at the way all the lanes are, you're like, okay, you banned Gnar away from Armut, so you're taking care of this problem in the draft. Bottom lane is generally outclassed by most other bottom lanes in 2v2.
What about...
And so then all you do is focus Jensen, who's a player who a lot of times wants to have his teams play around him, and Dignitas has this sort of formula that you can just read it line by line from the textbook to approach them in a very effective way. And I've yet to really see them be able to answer that yet, and EG's just sort of doing it by that textbook, and Dignitas is 4,000 gold behind at 16 minutes.
Dignitas needs to ban that book. Remove that book from all libraries. Evil Genius is going to try and fight them off this Rift Herald, and they definitely should. They've got the money to do it.
All right. Dignitas, how are we going to handle this, boys? Santorin gets away over the wall.
Up on teleport.
A TP's coming in. Vulcan immediately ready to go with a grand entrance. Armut just takes so much damage. He barely lives. He dies to Jojo there as he tries to escape. A lot of damage fired back into EG there, but not enough to grab a kill. Dig is just too far behind. Piercing arrow flies, but it ain't going to find any low health targets. EG gets 1 kill, and they go right back into the Herald. Armut thought he was going to come in on a flank angle, but EG was just ready to respond.
Yeah, as soon as you see a teleport like that, my eyes get big. I'm like, group up on that teleport, kill it now. Whatever's coming out of that thing is dead because the rest of the team is so far away. But you can understand the feeling of Dignitas. They're feeling this game just running away from them. They don't feel like it's going to get closer. So they try and throw it all at EG now.
Yeah, I feel like the problem is 6,000 gold, 2 dragons, 17 minutes into the game. This is a vertical wall that Dignitas has to climb now. I generally look at games as when are we at the point where it's not just in your power to choose whether or not you can win. The enemies have to throw, and I think we're there.
Yeah. So we got to see, Vulcan using the ultimate you wanted to see his quickness. Does get the flash pretty early out of Lulu, so Biofrost doesn't have flash. It means he's a bit more scared to move up. Does get the ward down. There's the ward that's going to be later teleported on. This is the aftermath. Santorin leashes, then they have to run away from it. And here is the call from EG View. Hey, we're standing on it. A little bit of a spectator bug.
Yeah.
As far as the teleport thing. Obviously, we know it was seen. Jojo then, he goes in. He does a little bit of his ult gets flashed by Santorin. He was trying to get Wukong there, trying to scoop him an extra kill, and then does get caught in the gravity field. But as you know, he did not go down. Didn't matter.
Yeah, Evil Geniuses are happy with the outcome of that one. It's 10 seconds before the 3rd Drake of the game spawns, and EG has control over this bottom side river as Jojo has to walk away. It's Dignitas moving up as a 4-man squad from bottom lane into that river to try to contest this one. They're going to go ahead and start the Drake themselves.
Ssumday's got his unleashed teleport. So Dignitas here, they're going to force it. I think Ssumday will be happy to actually answer. The rest of Evil Geniuses, Ssumday is getting the tower while the 4-person group is forcing Dignitas off the dragon. How low is that tower? There we go.
The tower's pretty low as they're going to just nearly kill Biofrost over the wall now. Jojo chasing him down, needs another soldier. Not going to get it because of the shield. EG still looking to follow this up even further now as they grab their 3rd Drake. They are on soul point, 19 minutes into the game. The top lane turrets survive, but that's about it. Herald going to be summoned up bottom lane to take out the tier 1. Nope, no way to defend this one. It just keeps bleeding for Dignitas. They're having a hard time finding a bandage here on Summoner's Rift, my friend.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time watching the beating flowers, I gotta be honest. It looks brutal. It looks brutal. Vulcan here going to use Inspire to help him push out the jungle. They get 2 towers after the push. I will say, Evil Geniuses are being pretty efficient about how they're pushing this ahead too.
Yeah.
When we're looking at games like this, it's about how quickly you push it ahead. In that last minute, they both... Let's take a look at it. Okay. Go down the checklist, because this is really the areas that you look at. When obviously Dignitas is going to have a very, very tiny chance of coming back in this game. So it's about how you push it ahead. When they force on this dragon, they deny the dragon play from EG, or EG deny the dragon play, plus they keep Ssumday pushing on this tower. He almost gets that whole tower, plus they deny the dragon, and then they use the Rift Herald to get both of these bottom turrets. That is winning every single point on the map here from EG and pushing the game ahead very quickly, pushing that game state ahead to really further snowball this. If we're keeping track of basically what has become a time trial for them,
yeah,
I think it's that was a nice little sequence from them.
I've been impressed with EG's planning since the beginning. I already talked about how I think it's just the textbook against Dignitas to ban Gnar, trust that your bot lane will win, and then focus everything on Jensen. You can see even with Ssumday's early invade on Santorin's level 1, just looking to disable any help Jensen might be able to get and keep that pressure there on the mid lane. And now Jojo and Inspired starting up a 2-man Baron sneak attempt. FBI and Vulcan zoning everybody else away from him. Of course, the Scryer's Trinket is going to see that, so Digger at least aware.
And now they just have to wait a little bit for Ssumday to get up to that tower. Pushes in bottom lane. still has his Unleashed teleport. The rest of EG back off because it was scouted out by the blue trinkets, as you say.
Santorin jumping on Vulcan here. Grand entrance, jumps right back out. Inspired throws the ulti over the wall. They're gonna find Biofrost, Chains of Corruption, lock him down. Santorin drops next. Jojo looking to get away there. Throws out the ulti, but Armut goes unstoppable to survive. But how much longer is he even gonna be there? All out to try to get himself away. Takes Vulcan with him, forces a flash back out of the EG support. But EG just got the enemy jungler plus an extra kill on Biofrost. All 5 players still alive. Now they'll take that Baron.
Yeah, really nicely, again, kind of set plays. Split push bottom side, your Fiora, your strong split pusher, gets the threat down there. They clear all the vision away from that Baron, start it up, it gets fires, they back off, then they return as soon as your opponents go into the jungle. They go for the pick. Nice little curve here on this Sejuani ult as Inspired comes sliding in. Vulcan's looking for the initiation. He gets the knock-up. Wukong clone is already used, so Inspired's like, hey, going right for it. It actually weaves almost.
Yeah.
And grabs Biofrost instead. You're like, great, I'll take that. FBI, picture-perfect follow-up for him with the Varus ultimate. Is able to root them. You called it out. Armut comes in with the W, so unable to get shoved back in and is able to all-out Vulcan across the map. But all it means is that Dig get to walk away with a couple extra members. It's still the extra kill to Evil Geniuses and the prize. 22.5 minutes with this Baron buff.
Oh man, that was close. That was close there. You are lucky, little Lulu. Anyway, we've got 2 minutes of Baron and 1 minute until the soul spawns. I said earlier that if EG can keep pushing this tempo, keep this momentum, get that early Infernal Soul, then there's just no way back whatsoever for Dignitas. And unfortunately for them, that appears to be the reality of this situation. You can see the vision in the bottom side jungle of Dignitas' half of the map. It's all EG all the time. There's this one control ward back here in Tri, but that don't even matter. Evil Geniuses pushing onto the tier 3 in bottom lane here with 3 players. Santorin jumping in, trying to find some sort of an opportunity here, but instead he's just going to be deleted. Barely gets away, barely survives. Inspired flashing over the wall to make sure he doesn't get bursted down. That was Dignitas' attempt. That was their try, and it just isn't enough. They're too far behind. EG forces their way into the base.
Yep. Pride open and finish off the inhibitor, no problem. Rotate back over towards mid. How much gold they got in their inventories right now, actually? Go for a full reset before this. 10 seconds on Dragon.
32, about 4,500 gold across the whole team.
Yeah, so it looks like they're just going to keep fighting it.
Yeah, they're ready to turn it right back around on Dignitas here. Armut gets stunned up, down to about half HP, still has his all out if he needs it. Remember, Inspired doesn't have a flash. Vulcan goes in with a quickness, but he ain't gonna find anybody just yet. There, they tag Santorin. Armut still being controlled by Inspired as Jojo's ready to follow up. I don't even think they're gonna need the Dragon Soul at this point. Evil Geniuses, they take down 2, still not losing anybody. Spawn tries to get away, has to flash out of the repose slow. Evil Geniuses getting the wave shoved right back up. They're getting Jojo right back into the fight. Here comes the teleport, and now they'll apply pressure to the Nexus turrets. Jensen and Biofrost trying to defend this. Spawn had to go back and heal. Jojo wants to go in, find that ulti, but he won't get the angle here in time. Arrow flies out, Spawn goes down. EG looking to wrap this one up fast. Dignitas, he gets them both. Nicely done, Jojo. He's trying to walk away from the Chaos Storm, get out of there in time. Evil Geniuses, 2 players at about 100 HP. Jojo, he ends up nearly getting himself killed by the turret shot, but he's got the shield to get away from it. Inspired finally drops. It's 1 kill, it's 2 kills. Back over to Dignitas, can they find another? EG may have overstayed their welcome here as they're forced to retreat, but the game is nearly done.
Is this going to be a study in the power of objective bounties, Flowers? What's the power?
Don't think so.
They got 2... they got a shutdown right there on kill shutdown, and now followed up with a Dragon objective bounty shutdown that also denies the Dragon.
If Dignitas wins this game, I will let you shave my head on stream.
Hell yeah, that's what I like.
There is just
dig, 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 dig deep, dig deep. I'm the biggest Dig fan now, please.
It's only a 12,000 gold deficit.
You know me, I'm not just gonna shave your head bald. I'm gonna shave some text in your head.
Yeah, you can put a copy pasta on there if you want.
Yeah,
I mean, we're just talking about stuff that ain't happening.
I haven't decided if I'm gonna put, like some Twitch meme in there, or if I'm gonna, like put I love Kobe or something like that. don't know. Maybe I'll crowdsource it.
Sky's the limit, man.
See.
Sky's the limit, but
I'll put out
unfortunately,
a Twitter poll.
yeah, it's still predicated on a Dignitas win, and they have an exposed Nexus with evil geniuses ready to walk right back into the base.
I'll put Dig Forever or something like that.
Dig forever.
All right.
Spell it with the number 4.
It begins now. The Dig comeback, baby. EG are coming in. Will our heroes survive? Their Nexus has no towers.
Well, it's tough. Armut jumps in, goes for the Q3. We ain't gonna find it. He tries to survive. No, everybody's already dead. You didn't even get to see those health bars. Blink and you miss it, baby. EG 14-2, 26 minutes into the game, 15,000 gold lead. They absolutely slammed Dignitas.
Can I shave? I'm an evil genius into the back of your head.
Nope, no shave without a Dignitas win.
Just checking.
That's the rule.
Congrats, EG. This week, miles ahead of what we signed.
Way better.
From EG, so happy to see them pull together. It does look like especially Dig and Immortals have been having really rough time at the start of this season, so hopefully both those teams can turn it around as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of work for Dignitas to do.
Immortals coming up later. They have their chance today. See if they can clean it up.
Unfortunately for Dig, like I say, it seems like they just have to fundamentally find a different way to approach these things because teams are just going about every game sort of the same way. You win 2v2 by default. You ban Armut's champions away from him. You focus Jensen hard, and it just feels like this stops Dignitas from ever getting a foundation to stand on.
Yeah, man, it just looks so painful this game.
Well, with this one wrapped up, it's a time to remind you all that from now until February 24th, you can use your MasterCard to make a purchase from the in-client store and save your card on file to be entered for a chance to win a trip to a League of Legends event or a set of 8, count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Player of the Week statues and a MasterCard prepaid card. So get on top of that if you're interested. But for now, it's time to toss to a break. And when we come back, it'll be TSM versus 100 Thieves.
And special guest.
And special guest.
Can I name all 5 Great Lakes?
I don't know anything about Great Lakes. No, I don't even know any of them. I don't know a single one. Missouri?
Repeat again, maybe.
Great Lakes, US, right? No, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't think.
I might know them all. Okay, I'll start. I'll just try. Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Ontario.
Huron, Ontario Lake,
Michigan.
Erie Lake, Superior.
The acronym's LLLLL. It's for Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, and Lake Superior. If you know that acronym, it's pretty easy.
We have to tell everyone that we just switched to Verizon's new Welcome Unlimited plan for just $30.
I've already told everyone.
Wait, did you say Verizon for just $30?
It's their best unlimited price ever.
$30? That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's from the most reliable 5G network in America.
For $30 a line, I'm switching now.
Yeah, it's easy. And you get $960 when you switch the whole family.
Wow, I gotta let my buddies know.
We're already here.
The network you want, the price you love, only from Verizon.